Thank you so much for joining us. We're here to talk about AI and all the disruption that it is causing in the world, both good and some perceived to be bad. But what I want to do is I'm kind of tired of talking about the high level, here's how AI is going to change us. I want to get in the weeds today and actually show what it looks like today to work with you on figuring out how AI is shaping the future of work specifically because it has dramatically changed my life. So how about instead of me doing my long-winded introduction, let's just jump straight into ChatGPT and have it come up with an introduction for us in this presentation. So as you can see, this is the ChatGPT window. Some of you are probably familiar with this. Some of you probably have not used this yet. So trying to meet you right in the middle, this is ChatGPT 4. You can access ChatGPT 3.5 for free. You can pay $20 a month for ChatGPT 4, which is a little faster. I think that's what you pay for in the upgrade. But if I were, preparing a presentation with Eventcombo today, essentially what I would do is I would just drop in a prompt here. I would essentially say something to the effect of, I'll just copy and paste this. I'm giving a presentation for the Eventcombo webinar entitled The Future of Work, Leveraging AI for Innovation and Productivity. Write an engaging introduction paragraph in my voice. The reason I say that is because I have trained my specific model to mimic my voice. Does it get it right? No, I would say about 30%. But nevertheless, let's find out how helpful this actually is. In my voice to get the audience engaged, share a funny joke. Let's just see if we can insert some humor here. So all I do is I hit send message and we'll see what it sends back. As you can see, it writes pretty quickly. I mean, this result comes back. And just to give you some context of what we're looking at, this is a large language model. It is an LLM. And essentially it is taking information from 183,000 books. It goes out and scrubs the internet, but not too recent. That's one thing I want to say. ChatGPT, I think, stops at the end of 2023 at this point. So you're not going to get the most modern stats and news. However, it's scrubbing the internet to pull together what I asked it to pull together based on my voice and drops it in here. So here it is. Here is our intro for the presentation today. I'm just going to read it. In the ever-evolving landscape of the modern workplace, where the lines between human creativity and artificial intelligence blurs more each day, we stand at the brink of a revolution. I love it's giving us big vibes here. Welcome to the future of work, leveraging AI for innovation and productivity, a journey into the heart of this transformation. I'm thrilled to be your guide as we navigate through the intricate dance of machines and mankind, exploring how AI is not just reshaping our work, but redefining the very essence of innovation and productivity. Now, before we dive into the nuts and bolts of AI and its monumental impact on our professional lives, let me lighten the mood with a little joke. Why did the algorithm go to therapy? Because it had too many if issues, but not enough then solutions. Humor aside, our focus today is to unravel how AI and its complexities and capabilities can serve as a powerful ally in our quest to not just anticipate the future, but to actively craft it. Let's embark on this exciting exploration together with open minds and a keen sense of curiosity about what lies ahead. I would probably give that like a 4 out of 10, to be honest. Not very great. The joke is not very funny. The language is still pretty stiff, but I hope that you can see in this process, we can start to create a symbiotic relationship with AI where we have a task in front of us. We can present it to AI, to ChatGPT, and then it will kick something back to us that probably won't completely replace us. Good news. But will also give us some insights on some of the things that we should be talking about. I mean, if you look at that, right, we have kind of this conversation around, the complexities and capabilities of AI and what it looks like and what it moves forward. So I would say outsourcing yourself 100% to AI, not a great choice. This is obviously written by a robot. But another great thing that you can do is let's just head back over to it and just say, now write an outline about the presentation that I should be delivering to my audience. And then I'll just hit send and we'll see what it kicks back. So now it might kick back some important elements for us to talk about during this presentation. So here we go. We have an introduction where it asks us to do a warm welcome and personal introduction. Check. Brief overview of the state of AI in the workplace, setting the tone. Now it gives us sections, right? Section 1, understanding AI and its impact on the workplace. AI and the human collaboration. enhancing innovation and productivity with AI. Section 5, leading through change, and it even gives us a conclusion. All right, so now we have a working outline, which brings some really important elements together. Another thing that I could ask is like, let's try this. Let me jump back over to my screen. We're presenting with Eventcombo. So I'm going to just pull up the Eventcombo website and grab that link. Head back over to my ChatGPT and just say, scrub this website and give me a one-word response about what they do. Drop in the link, hit enter. Now it's literally going to go and it's going to read the website. We used to have to use a plugin for this. There was like a link reader. I guess I asked for a one-word answer and they gave us one. Event management. Give me I should have asked for a one-sentence response to what Eventcombo does. I mean, they nailed it, right, team? Event management. But it says Eventcombo provides an all-in-one event management platform, streamlining the creation, promotion, hosting of events with comprehensive tools and integrations. I'm just having a little bit of fun with you in the intro here so that we can like explore how this can really help us. Help me, what are ways that Eventcombo can leverage AI to host better events? I'm just essentially like just asking some questions that are more personal than just doing a Google search. I hope that we're learning that when you do a Google search, the information that comes back to you is still relevant, but you might have to be doing a lot of the scrubbing, reading through it, coming to your own conclusion. Now you can just let AI do the scrubbing for you and you can read. Eventcombo can leverage AI to enhance event experiences by personalizing attendee recommendations based on their interest, optimizing event planning with predictive analytics for attendance and value selection, automating customer service with chatbots for instant support, and utilizing AI-powered networking tools to connect participants with similar interests for more meaningful engagements. I already know the team. I've been doing events with Eventcombo for a while, so I understand that they're already very well aware of that. But what should the learning outcomes of this presentation be? And it's going to kick back some stuff. Hopefully it puts it in bullet points for us. Nope, it won't. So let's just ask it. Let's see what it gives us. There we go. Understand the transformative power potential of AI, recognize how AI and human skills can complement each other, grasp the ethical considerations in deploying AI, be inspired to foster a culture of continuous learning and adaptability in the face of AI advancements. And that is my presentation today. Thank you all for coming. That's all you need to know. Just playing, but essentially I am showing you a new way of collecting information, of building out assets. And I would ask you at this point to look at your own processes in the work that you do on a day-to-day basis. What questions do you often come across? What situations do you run across that needs some real strong cognition in the work that you're doing? And instead of maybe asking a superior or thinking really hard about it in the shower, now you can take these questions to whatever, AI platform, whatever generative AI platform you want to use. I prefer ChatGPT. A lot of people are using Gemini and Bard and a bunch of different other players in this space. But I'm hoping that we can understand that AI, generative AI, at least the initial use cases, are augmenting human potential. They are not replacing us. As you can see, you can go type up the outline of the presentation. You can get the learning outcomes on your own, but how do you personalize it? How do you really get into the weeds of, the personal experiences of your employees, of your customers? And so while I do believe that AI is drastically changing the future of work, it will not replace humans, especially not entirely, because we still need those elements that make us human. And I will also say that one of the good parts of AI is that it offloads some of the cognitive elements to a robot that can handle automation, that can handle repetitive tasks, so that you can spend more time working on what you really need to do. So Simran leaves a great comment here. I'm just going to read it. ChatGPT has truly helped me with writing content. Now, instead of spending time thinking and typing, I just go to ChatGPT and get the content. I relate to you, Simran. I have done that so many times. I actually want to show this to you real quick in my ChatGPT. So as I mentioned, we are writing a book, and the process before AI was that you have an idea, You collaborate with the publishing house. You get all the content together, organize it how you want to do it, and then you submit it. It is 100% organically human. When you leverage AI, now there is a symbiotic relationship that goes back and forth. So I just want to show this again. I'm going to share my screen once again. I want to show this to you as we kind of look at it. So here's my chat GPT. The first thing that you can do, this is just kind of in the nuts and bolts. I didn't want this to turn into like a learning 101 of ChatGPT, but if you click on my name, Josh, and you go to customize ChatGPT, it has two fields here that you can fill out. What would you like ChatGPT to know about to provide better responses? And how would you like ChatGPT to respond? Since I'm writing a book with Harvard Business Review Press, my prompt is this: I am a prolific writer for Harvard Business Review Press at the height of my career. I need help writing a book about the impact of Web3 technologies and decentralization that will have the impact that it will have on employment and the future of work. I want to match the writing style of Harvard Business Review Press authors that have come before me, like Marcus Buckingham, Clayton Christensen, and Adam Grant. My consulting work, yada, yada, right? I'm just giving it more details about who I am. Someone else would come in here and say something like, I am a teenage YouTuber who likes to swear a lot and really wants to be funny. Yours might be something else. I'm a marketer and I really want to capture the essence of what it's like to be human at work, so on and so forth. And now you can kind of prompt how ChatGPT will respond. To err on the side of formality, but keep it conversational. I'm known for taking complex problems and explaining them simply. Typically respond 2 to 4 paragraphs. Otherwise, it's going to write a ton, so on and so forth. So this has been kind of my process of writing a book. There's actually a 12-step process that I've put together in a presentation, which we're only going to talk about for a brief moment here. But I'd love to share that with you if you want to go follow us at the Work3 Institute, and I'll have a link for you at the end of the presentation to look at that. But what I have learned is that there is this new symbiotic relationship where I take an original idea to ChatGPT. ChatGPT can scrub the internet and kick back everything that's been written on the subject so far. I can pull the elements that make sense for the book, get more specific, send it back into ChatGPT for an outline. They can send an outline back to me. I can fill out some of the details, some of the gaps, and say, hey, this sentence that isn't very good, take that idea and expand upon it 2 or 3 paragraphs. And then you have to go through those paragraphs and scrub out the ChatGPT language. The thing with these large language models is they're helpful to a degree, but the more and more we use them and the more we put it out into the world, the more we're going to recognize, was this written by a human? Was this written by a robot? And you can actually, there are websites now that will scrub the information and decide how much of this, what percentage was written by ChatGPT. Although I don't think they're very good right now, because I would write 100% my own work, put it in there, and it will say it was 100% written by ChatGPT, or I would put ChatGPT right in there and it would be like, oh yeah, this was written by a human. So we're still working out the details. But again, I want to say that now, instead of taking years to write your work, you can spend months writing your work. You have a partner right alongside you who is getting more and more accurate and can help you kind of pull those together. I'm going to read Jason's comment here. Which are the top 1 to 2 AI tools that can help someone come up with new ideas or solutions to any kind of problem at work? I would ask you to marinate on that question, Jason, and then plug it into ChatGPT. See what comes back there. Again, it's not going to be hyperactive, but I tell you, there have been moments where I've been racking my brain for a specific case study and it put the right company in front of me. I was able to then contact that company, write the case study, and plug that into the system. So that's it for ChatGPT for a second. Let's actually jump over to the presentation itself. We are talking about the threat and opportunity of AI. As you've kind of seen me work through that little example, some of you might feel like you're afraid, and understandably so, that your job might be taken. Or you might see the excellent opportunity of leveraging these new systems. I wish I had some strong answers for you at this point of like, hey, your job is secure and you're fine. Or yeah, ChatGPT is definitely going to take your job. I can't say that for your specific situation. I can say though, however, if you are not using AI, generative AI specifically, in your day-to-day work, you will not be able to have as much productivity as your neighbor working next to you who is using these tools. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, he's in a chat group with these billionaire AI enthusiasts, and they believe that in the coming future, in the very near future, in the next 1 to 2 years, there's going to be the first company, the first billion-dollar company run by one person who's leveraging all of this new technology to run their company. So there are companies. Let's look at the threat and the opportunity. The threat is that there are current leaders who are on board with AI, and they're looking at it as a way to reduce headcount. They think that they can lower the price of their talent by implementing more and more AI. And that's the unfortunate reality of some leaders. They're not interested in the human-centric elements of work. They just want to automate it because they care about their stakeholders, they care about their customers, and they leave the employees behind. On the other hand, there are companies who see this human-centric digital transformation as a way to augment their employees, to not just get rid of them, but to help 10x their productivity. And when you see the difference there, one is kind of a closed mindset, one is an open mindset, where you are working to be much more productive with the people that you have instead of getting rid of people to maintain the same level of productivity. So you just need to decide where you're going to fit on this. And there are interesting case studies coming out. I just made this video. I don't know if you guys are going to, I'm actually just going to mute that because I doubt you can hear it. But this is a video I just made on my YouTube channel. I'm fairly active on YouTube. I post every single day. So if you want like current events around the future of work, check this out. But this is a story of Klarna AI. They just laid off 700 employees. These are the customer service representatives at the organization. And the CEO talks about how important that decision was, but he doesn't mention the employees themselves. And so in this video, I kind of highlight that these employees, 700 of them, are now entering the talent pool with other employees who are being laid off. There are less jobs available right now. And so we're seeing, less and less companies hiring people and more people being laid off from a job. So the learning outcome that I say here is, how can you make yourself indispensable? What can you do to make sure that the work that you do is going to be valuable regardless of how AI evolves? And the easiest and most base way of saying that is use AI today. Start using it in your daily practices. And there's an interesting study that was done that those who are using AI today to do their jobs, half of them agree that AI is going to take their job because they can see what it can do. The other half are saying, true, but also I can do my job and use AI, which is more than the other people who are top performers at the work that they're doing. So it's happening. And just saying that out loud, I think helps us begin to process what's next. And I will say, when you look deep into Klarna's work here, they had 700 people who were working as a third party, as customer service representatives. They were essentially a glorified chatbot. And they just brought in Dante, an AI chatbot, to scrub all of their processes and provide answers to the questions to their clients. So on one hand, yes, it did replace their job. On the other hand, it didn't replace them very well. There were a group of engineers that got in there and interacted with the chatbot itself and found out that it gave very generic answers. It wasn't very helpful, and it was quick to pass you on to an actual customer service representative. So only time will tell if this is something that's going to work out in their advantage or not. But again, how can you use AI to push past that? I made another video recently, which we'll just kind of look at here, and I'll mute it as it goes along. This is an AI tracking tool that literally tracks the movements of employees in an office. For those of you who are interested in employee productivity, this might sound exciting because you can track their movements. Are they sitting at their desk? Are they getting up and talking frequently? How often are they taking breaks? Are they being productive? I make the point in this video that people don't like to be observed, that the research shows that. And also, this is such a narrow-minded application to what AI can do. Why are we looking at such an arbitrary measure, such as time at desk, which doesn't prove productivity? It just means the correlation of if someone's at their desk, they're probably working, which means they're probably doing better. What if you could just upskill your workforce and actually train them to use the AI to be more productive in less time instead of, monitoring their behavior? So there's this balance of trust versus control that comes with it for leaders in today's world. Are we using AI tracking tools to monitor productivity, or are we enhancing our people's abilities to use AI to 10x production, to 100x production? That's how we should be thinking about it. So let's kind of look at some real world examples here. Now, I've prepared quite a few slides here, which we'll get into the nitty gritty, but I'm curious what ChatGPT is going to say about which industries are being disrupted. So let's just hop over there again for a second. And I'm just going to type in, what are the most prominent industries being disrupted by AI? Give examples. And then we'll just send that message, see what it says. Okay, so it's going to give us a little, of course, AI is disrupting everything. Give me 6 to 10 industries in bullet point format. And we'll see what it comes back with here. All right, so take a look at this, right? Healthcare is a big one. Finance and banking, automotive, retail, manufacturing, transportation and logistics, agriculture, entertainment and media, education, energy and utilities. Honestly, I think for my own research, I have pulled together probably 6 of these. Some others probably could have been great to research beforehand and pull into your presentation. But yeah, let's just kind of go through these. I know that we're a little bit behind on time because we've had a few issues, but I'm going to go through these and then we'll kind of open up for Q&A here. I don't know if you've seen some of these TikTok videos of Amazon workers illegally filming the process of what Amazon is doing. And you might be surprised at how automated everything is. It uses robots. It knows the exact size of the package and it can box up to the exact specifics for that individual item and ship it off at record speeds. So logistics is changing. Entertainment is changing. I don't know if you saw the Mandalorian, but it was very interesting to kind of see some of these early use cases of AI generated faces. This is Mark Hamill as he is today versus as he was, and they used 3D imaging of his face to bring it to life. This is kind of the crux of the SAG-AFTRA strikes that we saw last summer, where workers were on strike, actors were on strike because they were fighting against Hollywood, against essentially this: my likeness is mine, and I should have rights to it. Or the Writers Act is, are we using AI in the scripts that we write? So massive changes over here that's causing a lot of issues, and it's interesting to stay on top of it. Like, watch what happens in the coming years as we use AI. I don't know if you also saw OpenAI just launched Sora, which will generate high quality video. This is not just images, it does video very well. And these small town studios are already using that footage to create shorts. There's one that I just saw of a guy with a balloon head, and the script was written by AI. The image was produced by AI. It was all AI generated. There was definitely a team behind that AI that was kind of pulling the strings and making sure it turned out to be what they wanted. But again, this is something that was not possible. You don't even have to pull out your phone or a camera and film anymore. You can just leverage AI for that. When we look at retail, this is a company called Obsess, and it's kind of fascinating what they've done here. They have created kind of this like metaverse-like store where you can go shop for digital assets, which they will ship to you as physical assets. So you can see some interesting influencers doing some interesting things in the retail space, right? You can go shopping with your Apple Vision Pro if you have one, throw on the goggles, do your shopping. You can be in the world and experience all of the things that the metaverse and AI has to offer. Finances are changing quite a bit. I don't know if you follow blockchain at all, Bitcoin, but the fluctuation and how it hit its highest peak just weeks ago shows that there's still some stability issues, but that it hasn't gone away. It's still here even after the FTX. I don't know if you have followed that. Sam Bankman-Fried, who had a big Ponzi scheme and scammed a lot of people, and now just recently got sentenced to 25 years in jail. We thought that was kind of the end of cryptocurrency. At least some banks hoped it would be, but it's coming back. It's roaring back better than ever. And marketing is changing. These are images that I created just in ChatGPT's image generator. Let's actually just hop over there real quick, right? So they have this image generator section where you can come here and you can simply write whatever you want. I'm running a business, selling cupcakes. Generate an image for my store. And it will go in and it will pull together an image. Now, I want to spend a second talking about IP and security around this. Who actually owns this image once it's generated? That's the big question. Who owns the video? Who owns the content and the copy? And when you look at the fine print, you'll start to see that OpenAI says that any, content that is created, whether it's written or shown, it's going to give us an error. Come on, try again. Will essentially you own that. You, the person who is prompting, will get to keep that IP. There's a lot of pushback on that right now because there have been artists who have built art with AI and haven't seen any royalties after they sold that work. All right, welcome to Cupcake Haven. It gave us a little image there, if you can see. All right, so, and here's the interesting part, right? Not only can you pull images together, and you'll notice like you're gonna probably have to work on the font because it's gonna be kind of weird. There's gonna be some issues with some of the stuff here. So if you use Photoshop, you got 80% there, you're gonna have to do do some work on there. But what's fascinating is we can essentially not just pull images together. I'm not going to do it right now because we're running low on time. I was going to hope to use this as an example, but you can essentially write in, like, give me the keywords that I need to use to maximize SEO on my website. Scrub my website and tell me which keywords I am currently using. Let me know what my competition is doing and how I can better position myself in the industry. And now you start to see a lot of things. Write 5 social media posts for me along with images and post them out there. Again, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to do some work on it, but can you imagine the possibilities? Can you imagine the jobs that people are going to lose because we don't need as much designers, we don't need as much copywriters, so there's a lot here. I'm going to jump over here to Ella's comment real quick. Can you talk about some industries where AI is making big differences that we might not know about? Yes, I can. Let me show you actually some more on my list here as we go along. And let me catch Jackson's comment here as well. Can you give an example of how AI helps with tasks at work in unique, lesser known ways, making things easier for people? I'm getting to that in my presentation as well, Jackson. That's a great question. Let's address most of those questions as we go along here. So I want to take a second to just talk about the healthcare industry specifically. You can see here, this is a company called EXEX. It's a Web3 application of virtual reality where they are doing virtual surgeries using the immersive internet and AI. So it essentially can help train surgeons before they actually get into the surgery room. And it can be very, very accurate. You can see here they're setting certain points on these individual as they are doing the surgery and giving, some of that life-saving support. When you look at the industrial use of AI, I'm going to just do this a little bit here. Let's see. Oh, there's the volume. So NVIDIA, if you guys had NVIDIA stock 10 years ago, you're probably very happy right now. They are continuing to grow and show that the AI bubble has not yet popped. But this is a collaboration they did with BMW, where BMW has essentially created a digital twin of their factories. This is a virtual representation of what it looks like in real life. So you can see they're adding a new robot. So they're essentially moving the toolbox, bringing the new robot in, and the robot will simulate what it's like in a real factory so that they can test. And already using this, they've shown 30% increase in efficiency in building new factories and using them in a way to be efficient. So you can see all of these robots. And by the way, this is all sitting in NVIDIA's Omniverse platform. So they're building it. They've got a team of engineers building in Omniverse, and they're pulling it together. We don't have to spend much time on this, but this is kind of an interesting example. This is another version of a digital twin. Lowe's has created a digital twin of their physical stores, which means you can go shopping at Lowe's from wherever you are in the world. You can order whatever you want, and they will track in real time how much they have left in their inventory, and they are able to ship it to you using AI logistics, which all happens fairly automatically. So you can see there's a lot of back-end work to do. There's these engineers who are designing the platform itself. But once it's in place, you start to see the true power of AI managing and leveraging some of these new processes. We talked already about Dante, a chatbot that can help customer service representatives. And of course, I kind of gave you kind of a rundown about what it's like to be a thought leader in the era of AI, how there's this symbiotic relationship. And the question begs, do you need human thought leaders anymore? Do you need someone to speak at your conference? Do you need someone to produce information for you when you can just grab it from ChatGPT? I personally think that's one of those big fears that is a little interesting. But with that said, let's get quickly into Jackson's comment here. Can you give examples of how AI helps with tasks at work in unique, lesser known ways, making things easier for people? So on a larger scale, we are writing about how AI will shape the future of work. We actually just published an article not long ago entitled "The 4 Forces That Are Fundamentally Changing How We Work" with Deborah Perry-Pashoni and I. And what we essentially are writing about is not just AI, but we talk about emerging technologies like Web3, DAOs, smart contracts, and a lot of other elements that tie into AI itself. So to give you an example of how work is going to change fundamentally, moving from a Web 2 version of work to a Web 3 version of work, instead of having a 9 to 5, come into the office, work on tasks that are assigned to you from upper management, you will be working for a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which is essentially a team of like passionate individuals who don't necessarily take orders from the head honcho, the C-suite. They have a lot of flexibility to work how, when, and where they want. And they are distributed tokens where you can vote on what happens in real time. So if there's something that needs to happen in the project, we set a vote on a tool called Snapshot or whatever else you're going to be using. And they'll essentially just use their tokens to say, I say we do go this way. I say we go this way. Once the decision is made, a smart contract executes automatically and workers just get to work and they work on those things. So that might have sounded completely out of left field for a lot of you, but without going into too much detail, Web3 and these emerging technologies using AI specifically are going to make work more democratic. They're going to give employees more flexibility that they're desperately asking for right now, more agency over the decision-making process, and essentially more autonomy to work how, when, and where they are in the world, which also unlocks the global talent marketplace. All right, here's a few stats that I think are interesting to look at. 90% of managers believe generative AI tools will become more popular in their workplace. 75% of workers believe AI will lead to fewer job opportunities in the next 10 years, and 73% of companies are either using or exploring the use of AI in the workplace in 2024. So I ask you, how are we using AI tools in our day-to-day work? I would love to hear from you in the chat. Please drop it in there and talk to me a little bit about how you feel things are going to change. With that, another great question from Ella: what skills should we be learning now to keep up with AI and stay valuable at work? Traditionally, work was in charge of upskilling its employees. It's like, we pulled you right out of college. We'll teach you what you need to do, and we will provide, some leadership training, some skills training, but that's just not viable in today's world. One, because employees are, jumping from job to job, and so there's less loyalty and less longevity there. Also, AI is moving so fast that you can't just go to college for 4 years and come out with the skills that you need. We're seeing today companies are focusing on skills-based hiring over experience-based hiring. So to answer the question, I think it's important for you to specifically hone in on how can you augment your skills using AI? And there are a lot of great resources available to you through these micro-learning platforms. Degree is one that has been very helpful. So another great question. Ella, I love that you're kicking these out. Here we go. How can small businesses use AI to compete with bigger companies and do better? Bigger companies are not going to be as agile as smaller companies. We saw this during the dot-com burst. We had these major corporations that just could not keep up with the emergence of the internet. And they very quickly they gave way to the Apples and the Googles and the Metas of the world. Well, we're moving into a new era of AI where they can try and they have a big budget, but there are going to be smaller companies who are going to use AI in ways that we've never seen possible and just completely overtake them. We saw this years ago. We're seeing it today. And I will just say, giving you a little bit of insight of what I'm seeing, I'm a Web3 advisor at the Harvard Innovation Labs. I'm working with startups, these young kids who are like the next Mark Zuckerbergs, and how they view technology, emerging technology, and how it can change the way that they live, the way that they work, the way that they grow. It's next level. So you can be assured that there are startups that are being built today that are going to turn into the next billion-dollar companies. All right, cool. So with that said, I feel like it's only appropriate to have ChatGPT write our final prompt here as we kind of conclude this. I'm just going to head back to our little AI revolution, and I'm going to say, this has been fun. Write me a concluding statement to tie the presentation all together and leave the audience with some powerful learning outcomes. Give it some humor. I'm actually going to we'll leave it on. It didn't turn out very good for us last time, but let's see what we get. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as we draw this enlightening journey to a close, remember, we are not just navigating a world reshaped by AI, we are setting sails towards a horizon brimming with untapped potential. AI in its essence is not just about algorithms and automation. It's about augmenting human ingenuity and forging paths to uncharted territory, innovation, and productivity. So as we step forward, let us not just ask how AI can replace tasks, but how it can amplify our human spirit. And remember, if your AI starts making its own coffee, maybe it's time to ask for a raise. Here's to the future where we work smarter, not harder, hand in digital hand with AI. So there you have it. There is our concluding paragraph from AI. Again, take it for what it's worth. I would not speak that way. I would not use those jokes, but it kind of gives you an idea of what's possible. And that's, I think, the thing that I want to leave you with is to approach these technologies with curiosity and not fear, to try new things, to let your imagination run wild, because it's only in doing that that we become comfortable with these new tools, that we learn how they are implemented in the work that we do, and that's how we will truly change the way that we work. So yeah, I know we're over time here. I want to be respectful of that. I know we've got some great questions still coming in, but let's definitely keep in touch. This is my contact information. Again, I am highly active on YouTube and TikTok. I'm big on LinkedIn. I would love for you to check out the Work3 Institute and the work that we're doing there. And yeah, just would totally love to keep the conversation going, Ella and Jason. I appreciate your input. But thanks again for everyone for having me. I appreciate you attending this webinar, and hopefully we can continue to drive value together. With that, I think we'll go ahead and leave it at that moment and turn it back over to the people at Eventcombo. So yeah, it's all yours. Thank you so much.